and welcome. I am Peta, owner of Peta Yoga, and I'm so excited to be here with you today to share with you this short practice on grounding. To begin, I would like to let you know that autumn is a time of feeling flighty and airy. When you think about autumn, a lot of times the wind is blowing leaves around, it's colder, the air is drier. And in Ayurveda, this is called the Vata season. And if you're unfamiliar about what the doshas are in Ayurveda, or if you're unfamiliar with what Ayurveda is, it is the sister science to yoga. And you can always Google it, or I can make a video about it at a later point in time. But what this means is that this season is governed by air, governed by the ether. And if you've ever felt flighty, that is kind of the idea that we're going on here. And the best way to counteract that sense of flightiness and the inability to focus is to ground. And so that's what today's practice is all about. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. Okay, let us begin in a comfortable seated position. Feel free to utilize blocks if you have them in your yoga toolbox. They are a great way to elevate the hips in any way, shape, or form. By elevating the hips, we take pressure off the knees. So if that's something that really needs some TLC, don't hesitate to use your props. Bolsters work really great for this too. So as we sit here, maybe even take your hands and kind of move this flesh away from the sit bones. As silly as it sounds, it's actually really helpful to feel out those muscles or bones in your body, and it really kind of helps to ground. From here, you can place your hands either on the tops of your palms or the tops of your legs, palms face down, or you can flip the palms to face upward. Breathe. Really come to the breath. And I want you to imagine as you inhale, drawing the breath all the way down to the sit bones. And then when you're exhaling all the way back up from the sit bones, all the way back up. So inhaling from the nose all the way down to the sit bones, and exhaling all the way up from the sits bones. This kind of helps cultivate this idea of breathing all the way to the base and exhaling all the way to the top. Now bring your awareness to where the body is in space. So bringing your awareness to the sits bones, to the legs that touch your mat, noticing how it feels to be in this space and accepting where you're at. It's a big one. It's hard to accept where we're at. We want to go places, but sometimes in an effort to ground, it means we have to accept where we are in this present moment. And it's okay to be where you are. I promise we all start somewhere. Maybe close the eyes if that feels good for you as we arrive in the present moment. Ease those shoulders down and away from the ears. A lot of times when we sit at computers, we feel those shoulders just sort of hiking closer and closer to the ears. See if you can ease them down. Now for some of us, this might be hard to sit like this, silent and still. Be with it. If you have to move, you have to move. If you have to shift, you have to shift. Be with it. There's no right or wrong here. Some of us might just struggle with sitting still and in the quiet and focusing on the breath. And if you're new to the practice, this is a-okay. We all start somewhere. From here, let's bring our palms together in front of the heart. And we're going to inhale, lift the heart to the palms. So we're bringing the heart up to the thumbs. We're grounding through those sits bones. You might notice that your knees come up. See if you can spread them out to the sides of the room. feel brightness, the energy between the palms, brightness in the feet, brightness extending from the sits bones all the way up through the spinal column into the crown and beyond. Take a deep inhale from the nose. Exhale, sigh it out the mouth. One more time, inhale through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out the mouth. Perfect. Let's take our right hand to the mat and place the palms or the fingertips, depending on our level of flexibility. There's all sorts of things we can do. Blocks are also helpful here to raise the floor up to us to make it a little bit easier, as some of us have different lengths of arms. So wherever you're at, play with it. Bring the palm or the fingertips down to the right side of the mat. Ground through this left sit bone. Inhale, swoop the left arm up and over the left ear. Now from here, we don't want to crunch in this left side. We want to feel extension all the way up. Head and neck can be wherever it feels good. I like to keep my gaze down towards the floor or in the direction my heart is facing. But traditionally, you'll hear teachers speak about taking the gaze underneath the arm. Listen to your body and take responsibility for what feels right for you. It's really important for students to understand that we as teachers are here as facilitators, but ultimately you are responsible for listening to your body and knowing your limits. So if turning your head to look underneath the arm stresses the neck out and may trigger a headache, don't do it. Inhale, come back to center. Feel the moment to ground down through both sit bones evenly. And then we're going to take our left palm or fingertips down to the mat, ground down through this right sit bone. Inhale, extend the right arm over the right ear. And again, play with what feels right in your body as far as the head and neck, as far as whether you need an elevated block or not, coming to the fingertips, whatever feels good for you. Inhale, go ahead and come back up. Perfect. Let's very slowly, very mindfully make our way onto all fours and be very slow and intentional about it. It's really important to feel out your transitions in yoga. I think a lot of times we spend more time making shapes with our bodies and we forget about how our bodies are feeling as we're moving and transitioning from one shape to another. Spread your fingers out nice and wide. We really want to spread and be active. Imagine you're holding a big beach ball for a moment, and then take that activity from the palms and plant the palms down on the earth. Shoulders are aligned over the wrists. Hips are aligned over the knees. Tops of the feet, we're going to start pressing the tops of the feet down. Grounding here. Feeling out the energy from the palms of the hands, through the arms, through the core of the body, into the legs, and down through the feet. Belly button draws in to support the low spine. We're not drooping. We want to make sure that we're supporting our low back. Good. Breathe here. We could actually develop quite a bit of heat just from doing this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our knees to the outer edges of our mat. Bring the toes together, big toes touch. And then exhale, send the sit bones downward towards the heels, any amount. And for all of us, it's going to look completely different. We're going to extend the arms. Keep the forearms lifted. Melt the chest down towards the earth. See how you feel here. And then from here, begin to lower the forearms down and then lower the forehead down towards your mat. Again, this is going to look completely different for everyone. Some people might need a block or support underneath the forehead. Some people might even need to elevate their knees, their legs in this pose with a bolster or pillow or folded blanket. because they go so deep into the pose that you're literally smashing your face into the mat. So listen to where you're at, feel it out. Breathe. On your next inhale, slide the hands underneath the shoulders, grounding through the palms as we press our way back up to all fours. Now we're going to play with a little bit of a precursor to downward facing dog. So spreading those fingers nice and wide, grounding through the palms, through the fingertips, pressing down into the tucked toes here. Okay, we're tucking those toes. On your next exhale, lift the knees and just let the knees hover here. Feel the connection that we have with our palms to the earth, our toes to the earth. Feel the strength in the body here. Breathe. Yeah, we are alive. Exhale, lower it down. Good. Shake out those toes if you need to. Wiggle them out. Maybe do some ankle rotations. Now we're going to come into our downward dog. So tucking the toes again. Inhale. Exhale, lift the knees. Bring the torso to the tops of the thighs first. Feel the length in the spine. And then from here, begin to straighten the legs. Maybe even pedal the legs out. You can nod the head yes, shake the head no. You can even bring some gentle twisting in the torso here. Again, be responsible for listening to your body and know what feels good and what doesn't, and respect that. When you're ready to find stillness, draw those heels toward the earth, even if they don't touch. Belly button draws in towards the spine, pressing into all 10 finger pads, all 10 toe pads, and then on your next inhale, slowly begin to walk your way in between the hands. The hands from here can fingertip to the mat, hands to the shins, or hands to the tops of the thighs. Elbows, if your hands are on the thighs, draw in towards the body. Shoulders draw down and away from the ears. Same thing if your hands are on your shins. Shoulders draw down away from the ears. Same principle with the hands on your fingertips to the floor. So wherever you're at, grounding down through the feet, and then just fold forward. Generous bend to the knees here. Don't feel like you have to be straight-legged. There's no need for that. Every body is built differently. The shapes we make with our bodies are different. If you'd like to take hands to opposite elbows here and dangle a little bit, feel free. Release the hands if they're on the elbows. Ground down through the big toe joint, little toe joint, and the heels. Inhale. Swoop the arms up and over. Exhale. Release them down. So here we're coming to our mountain pose. And in our mountain pose, we really want to focus in on grounding through the feet. Hands are active, shoulders loop down and away from the ears. Chin is parallel to the floor, but heart is lifted, chest is open. Activate the legs, press down actively into those feet. From here, let's shift our weight from our both feet to our right foot. Pop up onto the toes of the left foot, and then we're going to turn our heel into the right ankle. Arms can stay outstretched like this. This is our tree pose. Now you can play with your foot. Maybe we stay here. Maybe we draw this foot to the calf muscle just below the knee. This is where the heel is going to be. So now we're tempting balance a little bit more. Or maybe it's in your practice to bring the foot to the inner thigh. But notice what's happening in this right hip. Don't dump your weight and just stand like this. I mean, I can do this all day, but we want to actively press into that right leg. And then from there, you can bring your arms up overhead, or you can even bring them to heart center. Whatever feels good. Breathe. And if you fall out, smile. It's okay. Because you know what? Every day is different. And you might notice that some days you can nail the balance and other days you can't. You're almost there. Exhale. Release. Good. Shake that out. Nice work. We're going to reset into our mountain pose. And then when you're ready, shift the weight to that left leg. Ground down. Press down into that floor. Turn the toes of the right foot and walk it in towards that ankle. And again, play with wherever you are at. And you might notice that each side is different. And again, don't dump your weight into this left hip. Really activate it. Feel the extension. Play with the arms overhead, or you can bring the hands to heart center. Good. Breathing here. Feeling grounded, feeling safe, rooted like a tree. This is what this pose is. It's tree pose. And then exhale, lower it down, shake it out. From here, we're going to take another forward fold. So starting with mountain pose, grounding down through the feet. Inhale, root to rise, arms up overhead. Exhale, swan dive as we forward fold. Grounding down through the feet. Inhale, swoop the arms up and over. Exhale, paint the walls with the fingertips. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, coming all the way up. And exhale, let's bring palms to heart center. Close the eyes here. Feel the energy of the feet, the brightness of them as they ground into the earth. Feel the brightness and energy of the palms pressed together in front of the heart. Know that you are able to take control of you. No matter what is happening in the world, no matter what season it is, you have the ability to take care of you. And if it means taking a little time out of your day to come to your mat, to honor yourself, then that will go a really long way because you are worth it. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. Release the hands down. Namaste. So excited to have you here. I really hope that this practice helps give you a sense of grounding. And if you're interested in more, definitely subscribe to my channel and check out my website. There are other things that you can do there. So thanks and have a blessed day.